So, if you've been around Charlotte Mason circles for a while, you probably have heard that Charlotte Mason did not advocate formal lessons for children under the age of 6. So, a lot of people naturally want to know, well, what do we do with children under the age of 6? And if that's something you're interested in, stick around because I'm going to be talking about it. So, in the past, we've heard in a lot of these circles, I'm thinking specifically of one example is the Ambleside website. On the Ambleside website, they're very convicted that children under the age of 6 should not be having formal lessons. But I haven't found a ton of information on there about what we should be doing with those children, especially when it's our oldest. Because, as moms, naturally, we want our children to have fun. We want them to learn. And this is kind of a trying time because we've never done this before. And we don't really know what to do with these children. We don't want them to fall behind. We don't want them to miss out on anything. So, as homeschooling moms, what are we supposed to do? And until the past several years, to my knowledge, there wasn't a whole lot of information about what, in Charlotte Mason's day, what PNEU parents, meaning parents that actually sent their children to her schools, did with their children under 6. And in the past several years, it has come to light that there were actual PNEU playrooms for children of the ages of 4 and 5. And they did have a schedule and they did, have occupations, but they still weren't doing formal math lessons, formal reading lessons, the way we would think that, some preschools do. A lot of preschools, in my experience, are more play-based, and that is kind of what it looked like. So there was actually a really great article that I found. I think about midway through the article, there's a section where it actually goes through what the actual schedule was in one of these playrooms. And when I saw that, it was kind of like a light bulb went off because, I don't know, I felt like I was the only person taking this, no formal lessons till the age of 6 thing seriously. Last year when my son was 4, and the suggestion that you hear is that the kids should be outside playing or going on hikes or like exploring nature, every day, every single day, multiple hours per day. And I wanted to do that, but the problem was I live in a really cold area and we had a particularly harsh winter and there were weeks, where we found ourselves stuck inside. We're not going to go outside. I have an infant too in negative 10 degree weather or, that sort of thing. So then the question comes what do you do? Because yes, the kids should have a certain degree of freedom where they're just engaging in free play all day. But I think a lot of people run into this issue where, if they're stuck inside all day and then the kids just end up kind of, watching TV or that sort of thing. And that's kind of what I think we're trying to avoid. So yeah, I'm just going to read to you the schedule that they actually had in these playrooms because I think even next year, I'm going to almost map this out and have this kind of as a reminder of, kind of a goal of what our day should look, especially in the winter time when we're not getting outside as much. Okay, so they begin with a very simple hymn, which some of the children will sing, and the new ones will learn gradually. Then there is a short, very simple prayer. Then comes a Bible story told reverently, with a picture sometimes, and then sometimes a piece of poetry is learned, or a hymn. The children choose the verses which they would like to learn. It must always be remembered that some of the children are 4 and some 5, so that in the next period, while those of 4 have playthings from the cupboard. Those of 5 may be picking out letters or making figures or letters on the board or using their colored counters. During the next period, the children may take journeys on a magic carpet or have another story told, again with a large picture about animals, or a history story, again with a picture. At 10:30 comes half an hour for lunch and more play. It goes into what they ate for lunch. I'm just going to skip that. Then should follow 2 periods of 15 minutes, each of various occupations. There may be a percussion band for which the children sit on the floor and beat time with their instruments to the piano accompaniment. Part of the time they march or run to music. Sometimes one child beats time for the rest of the band. This probably will include all the children, as will making something in clay, or learning a few words of French with a picture or in a game, or listening to another tale, again with a picture. 2 or 3 children who find it very difficult to sing a correct note will have a little help in ear training, while the others are writing or making piles of numbers with counters. Then comes a period of singing games, or physical exercises, or painting, or handwork, or sand trays. All these occupations should be varied each day. A quarter of an hour is enough for most of them, but their percussion band, singing games, painting, or handwork should be allowed a longer period. But the teacher must be on her guard. Some children will show signs of fatigue, and she must know when it would be wise to change the occupation, or when a little encouragement is the wiser course. So I think that is, extremely helpful. To me, it doesn't sound so different than your average preschool, especially like I mentioned before, a more play-based preschool. I think, when I saw this, it was really helpful. And I think even for next year, I haven't really done this yet. I am going to actually, plan that we're going to be reading these books, and even plan out some of the singing games and some of the songs and that sort of thing. I think last year too, in the winter, when we kind of got wiggly inside, a lot of the time we would just kind of put on music and kind of like run around and dance to it. And I kind of made like seasonal playlists and things. I was like a little more hesitant to introduce singing because for whatever reason, my son wasn't big on singing. He would kind of make up his own songs, but he wasn't huge on kind of like singing along or, singing a song that I would try to teach him or something like that. But lately, he has been, not because of anything I've done, just on his own, he's been singing the songs that I've played for him, not on the piano, just recorded music. So I think we are going to kind of introduce a little bit of like a, song study or singing game rhythm, but I am going to have more of a plan, even if it's not going to be anything where I'm like, okay, we have to stick to this schedule and do this every single day. It's more like when we're home and we are in the mood or we're bored, this is what we're going to do. So I think, I hope that was helpful for anyone. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe people want like a list of concrete things and, curriculum that they should be doing. I personally, that's not really my style, but I get it. So thanks for tuning in.